Yo, what up? Snap Turtle in the truck. Leaving work.
Next left.
Damn near 11 o'clock at night. And as I look in the sky, I see the same formations I saw about 9 hours ago in the same spot. You know, last I checked, well,
Proceed
the time
about
before last
0.8 of a mile
that I checked, it was supposed to start raining tomorrow. Right? But here we have these feathery checkerboard backgammon looking ass formations in the sky, and the rain for tomorrow was canceled. Now, they say it's supposed to rain Thursday. We'll see. It was supposed to rain Saturday, Sunday. That apparently got canceled as well. You know, and this is that bullshit I be talking about. I could feel the cold front wanting to press into Southern California. I could feel it.
Right turn.
You know, I was outside many times tonight
Street.
because my job, you know, my job dictates that, you know, we're coming in and out of doors. You know, I'm not stuck in no desk. I'm working with my hands. There's a lot of walking around. Very physical work. And I'm in tune with the climate. And I have some sense. So when I feel this cold front pressing down and,
next right, and then
the air is nice and crisp,
onto
you can kind of smell the moisture
north.
wanting to come in. But then when you look up, you don't see any heavy clouds. All you see are these hazy, fucking silvery looking formations that have been sitting there all day, goddamn day. And they want us to believe that this is natural.
Next left,
right?
onto
That's what they want us to believe.
10 north.
There's no wind, right? Anyway. So, what your friends about? It's a very important question. I often have to ask myself this because, you know, I'm on a different time at this point in my life. I'm on a different time. And I'm constantly researching. I'm constantly thinking ahead. I'm constantly trying to prep. I'm constantly trying to train. I'm constantly trying to stay in the mind frame of what if some shit shifts tomorrow. I'm constantly in that mind frame. And, you know, you would think that you could talk to someone close to you about this type of shit. You'd think that your family would be on it, or they would at least listen to you and understand, because they know that you have been through some shit, and they know that you research everything you're looking into. They know that you have some sense. But yet, when you talk about shit like weather modification, when you talk about shit like the dangers of 5G, when you talk about buying land, getting together with folks and buying land so that you can grow your own food,
continue on I-1,
have your own water,
north.
And, you know, be self-sustainable, maintain your own electricity and plumbing. You know, when you tell them shit like this, when you tell them that you think it's a good idea to form a prep group so that you can start stockpiling shit together, you would think that they wouldn't look at you like you shot out a dinosaur egg. But guess what, folkers? Guess what? When I talk to my friends and family about this shit, you know, that's how they look at me. Some of them nod their head and yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. But, you know, or you'll send out mass texts. You'll send out some text messages saying, you know, let's get together and talk about some things. You know, let's talk about a future where it's uncertain and we have to survive anything. You know, and all these excuses occur. Oh, if you tell people about that, if you tell them that's why we're meeting up, they might not want to be with it. You should tell them that we're getting together for a birthday party and then talk about it at a birthday party. This is what somebody told me. Use my child's birthday party to talk about prepping. This is what was suggested to me. But then one of my aunties, you know, not my real auntie, but like an auntie to me, she told me that you keep putting yourself out there, you keep attempting to get people on board, you keep trying to help prepare people for uncertainties, and if they ain't with it, they ain't with it. You just got to do what you got to do for yourself. She said you have to move on and make sure you and yours are okay. And then when the shit hits the fan and they come crawling to you looking for aid, you're just gonna have to say, only have enough for me and my family. I can't do nothing for you. Because I've been telling you
2 miles
constantly
on the route,
that we need to prep.
slow traffic.
You know, and I'm not a doomsday sayer. I'm not a fearmonger. Okay? I'm just a practical, pragmatic man that knows that infrastructure fails. I know that shit happens, man. Shit happens. Conditions break down, and you got to be ready. That's the reality of it. You know. So, what your friends about? Are they on that shit too? When you talk to them about this shit, day in and day out, when you send them links to articles in the research papers, when you send them shit, when you send them studies, like say you send them a study of what 5G does to cause cancer, or you send them a link to the warning, the cancer warning that every single wireless provider has to put on their websites. You can go right to the website. Go to a wireless provider's website, right? They have a warning. They have a cancer warning saying that cell phone radiation, and that's exactly what it is. Let's just get it out there. They're radio waves, right? Radiation. You're being irradiated by cell phones, and they have to tell you that. They have to warn you that this shit can cause cancer, because it does. It's been proven to. It's all over the place. When you put them up on shit like that, do they give a hot fuck? That's what I want to know. Because I'm finding out more and more that it's people that I connect with on platforms like YouTube or Facebook that are more about it than the people that I grew up with. And that's a sad sight. Right? It's a sad sight. You know, there's a couple of groups that I want to suggest you guys check out on Facebook. One is Black Preppers. Just search it. Search Black Preppers. They have a group. And there is the Black American Outdoorsmen. That's a good group. And these are groups of people all over the country. You know, these are people all over the country who hunt, who fish, who prep. They have their own land. They're farmers. They're ranchers. They fish they do this every day. They live in rural areas like it's a beautiful thing. I get so jealous when I see, when I follow these people and I see them, you know, showing us how to gut a deer. They're showing us the best way to fish. Yeah, they're showing us.
Continue on
They're showing us
north.
The best way to stalk a freaking moose or something. You know, it's just You know, you got guys in Alaska. You got people in the South. You got people in the Midwest. There's a young woman in the Black American Outdoorsman group that has her own ranch, and she has horses. She has cattle. You know, and she's assisting, and she's doing it all on her own. You know, she has help, but they own that shit. And then I look at my people, and I look at me. You know, I grew up in LA. I couldn't, you know, if I grew up in the South and the Midwest, maybe I'd be on that same shit. I know I would, because when I was in the Army, I was stationed in the South and the Midwest, and I got into some of that shit. I did a little hunting. You know what I mean? I did a lot of fishing, because that's what they do for fun. That's what they do. And you'll find when you check these groups out, these are genuine people. These are good people. And some of them, they're not even as woke as you think you are. This is just part of their life. And guess what? If conditions broke down, and guess what? They have all that heat. They got the heaters on them. And they live in states where they can carry and where they can own pretty much whatever the hell they want. And they have ranges on their own land. Like, these are the type of people that people like me and you, because if you watch me all the time, you know what I'm on, and you know what you on. These are people that we need to connect with, you know, in some form of fashion. I'm not saying go move out there just because they like to hunt. I'm saying build a rapport, build a relationship with these people, because you might end up one day wanting to get out of the city. I live in the city, and if you live in the city, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you might want to move to a rural area, and you might want to go hang out and maybe help somebody on their ranch. That'll be your cost of living. You help them on their ranch every day. They might sell at farmers markets. The point is, are your friends holding you down or backing you up? What are they doing? And you know, I talked about in another live how I was supposed to do a podcast with a few of my friends that I grew up with, but the subjects that they want to talk about are just mind-numbing and just of no substance. And when I suggest things to talk about, they just want to be entertained. Oh, we just want to talk like we talk on the block. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we just homies and we kicking it. We talking about shit. And it's not like we can't make the serious shit, the shit that I talk about on my platform. It's not like we can't talk about this type of shit and make it fun, make it funny. Go ahead and make fun of me. Make fun of me being paranoid, whatever. Say what you got to say. But at the same time, I can educate. I can push it out to the people. So I'm not focused on that no more. I'm not on that. I'm focused on this channel. I'm focused on my platform right here, because no one is telling me what I can and can't say. And these niggas that I'm supposed to be doing this podcast with, you know, I wanted to talk about boxing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Me and another one of the homies start talking about Deontay Wilder and freaking AJ, you know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua possibly fighting. And they wasn't on that shit. They were like, oh, well, I don't give a fuck about boxing. It's just that type of energy that you have to analyze the type of energy, right? Because it's not something that you want to talk about or you're well versed in. You don't want to hear that shit. But you want to talk about fucking soccer? I don't care about soccer. But you want to talk about soccer 24/7. This is just an example of the bullshit that you have to deal with your friends sometimes. I told them to fuck off. Anyway, you have to analyze that. You have to look at this shit deep, because I ain't got time for no bullshit. And boxing is a fun topic, you know. And at the same time, now we weren't talking about this on the podcast, but we were talking about it through text message.
South Van Ness Avenue.
I could have turned that into a learning situation. We could have been entertained talking. We would have fun talking about the possibility of Deontay Wilder knocking motherfucking AJ out, or vice versa. And then I could talk about their techniques and their styles and how and translate that to real world shit. You know? And that's another thing I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna start showing some fighting techniques. I got a little gym in the back of my house, in my garage. I'm gonna start showing a little bit of technique. You know, just some basic shit, just shit that will really work out in the street, in the field. You know, simple, quick, efficient.
Left turn ahead.
Nothing fancy. So I'm gonna start being on that shit. You know, eventually. I'm gonna start. There's a lot more I want to do. There's a lot more I want to do with my platform. And, you know, like I said, man, sometimes it feels like I connect with you people more, or the people in my groups, than these days than the people that I grew up with. And that's what you have to look at. You have to look at that.
To South Bend, SF.
Because even though we might be far apart, all right, you know, my audience, me and my audience, there's nothing that says that we can't make some shit happen together. You know, we built that trust. We built that relationship. It's all about building. You know, that's what it's all about. It's about building alliances as well. What kind of alliances do you have? Because you can't get anywhere without alliances. You see what I'm saying? Let's say that we melanated people, okay, and I'm not racist, okay, but I do feel like we need our own. We need something to call our own, that we can cherish and that we can build and that we can protect. Because right now we're in the middle of the shit they have established, and we don't get a fair shake. So that's what it's really all about. It's about empowering ourselves. So the shit I talk about, I might not include the others all the time. You know, even though there might be some others that are down. But right now I'm focused on our people. Okay. You know, I got friends, I got people that I'm down with that like to include them, you know, in the relationship, in the conversation. But right now, if we can't establish something of our own, then we will always be at the mercy of the powers that be. And that's just the reality of it. You know, it's like what Muhammad Ali said once in an interview. Okay, and this is when he was on his extreme, Nation of Islam shit, where the person asked him, so you don't think there are good white people out there that would love to help you? He said, I'm sure there are, but let's say there's a snake, there's a grip of snakes over there, and in that crowd of snakes there are a few good snakes. What I'm supposed to do? Keep the door open so all these snakes can come in and hope that the good snakes don't let the other ones bite me? No, he said, I'm gonna close the door on all them damn snakes. That's what he said. Now, I'm not talking about anything like that, but what I'm saying is putting us first. All right, and sometimes we can be our own worst enemy.
Proceed about
and that's very real true.
of a mile to West Vernon
But
Avenue.
Some of the others are trustworthy. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and say they're not. Some of them are down. But what do we have if we don't have something of our own?
Turn onto West Vernon Avenue.
Not to say that we can't include anybody. I'm talking about something that we control, something that we have power over, something that we can say, look, these are our rules, okay? This is how we get down. This is how we make shit happen. That's something that we need. We need that. Because in their system, you know, they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't have to let us have anything. And the reason that we're here and we exist in their system as much as we do is because we spend so much money.
In half
We put
a mile,
we put a lot of
right
money
turn
into the
onto
system
West
as a
54th
people.
Street.
And right now, that's what they need. They need it right now. Eventually, they won't. They need us to consume.
Proceed about
That's what we are.
9/10
We are
of
the
a
best
mile
consumers,
to your
black folks.
destination.
Okay? So, what are your friends on? Okay? Will they shit on your people? Let's say, will they shit on black people to include white people? That's what I would ask. Because you can include white people, certain down white people in the conversation without shitting on black folks. And this is what I've seen too many times in people that I thought were down. And I had to cut them off. Listen, it's one thing to say that, you know, white folks have helped us throughout history in certain cases, in slave rebellions and in the Underground Railroad. And it's another to shit on black folks at the same time. Why are you bringing that
In a
up?
quarter of a mile, your destination is ahead.
I had a friend who all of a sudden he was on some down gorilla shit, right? And then all of a sudden he started shitting on black folks.
Your destination
Just started
is
down,
ahead.
just got on some different shit, started doing some weird shit, you know, and started talking about how, oh, we need to bring white folks in on this and all that, and black folks been doing this and doing all this negative shit, just speaking real negative about black folks and bigging
You have
up white
arrived at
folks
your
as much as he
destination.
can.
The route guidance is now finished.
So every time he did that, I would get on his ass. I'd be like, what dude, what's up, man? What's this bullshit about? You know? And he'll come up with some silly shit, some silly dumbass reasons as to why he's doing this. And then eventually, I find out what's real. Apparently, you know, he is an entrepreneur. Okay, he sells T-shirts. He prints, he designs and sells T-shirts and shit like that. And it came out one time because I had to find out why he was shitting on black people so much while elevating and, you know, putting white people on a pedestal. And eventually he told me, oh man, I tell you, this one white guy, he gave me $3,000 just because, and black folks ain't never gave me no $3,000 for nothing. And I was like, there you go. There you go. That's what it's about. It's about that $3,000 bag. See what I'm saying? I cannot abide friends whose minds operate like that. Because that motherfucker will be quick to choose one of the others over your black ass. Even though you never done anything wrong to him. You wasn't able to give him $3,000 because you just didn't have it. But you never did shit to him. All right? You never did nothing negative to him. You supported him as much as you could. I was buying this dude's T-shirts left and right. Trying to do something to help support him and keep him afloat so that he can keep his business going and not have to go to work. That he can just be a self-made businessman like he wanted to be. I'm always supporting this dude. I can't just give you $3,000 all at once for nothing. But I did buy your shit. But it don't matter because I didn't give you a $3,000 check. So that's the type of shit I'm talking about. These are tests. You always have to test your friendships. Sounds harsh, but you got to. If you don't, listen, man. You just got to be smart about yours. You got to be smart about who you let in your life. Because shit's coming down hard, and they're going to have to choose. And you need to know that they're going to make the right choice. Real talk. If they can't make that right choice, you don't need them. So if they look at you like shit on a shingle when you talk about this real, you might want to keep bringing it up, keep testing them, reevaluate. You know, maybe you can show them some evidence or something to convince them. Always give them a chance. But at some point, you have to move on. No hard feelings. I just got to do what's best for me and my family. Because I have kids, I have a wife. And I'm about that life. So, anyway, I'm at home. I'm getting in there. My wife waited up for me. I'm going to kiss my wife. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Maybe drink some cider. Some spiced cider. Some warm spiced cider. Go to bed. Get up, go to the gym. Get a few rounds in. So, yeah. What your friends about? Anyway, hit that like button. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. And we're going to keep this moving forward. I'm going to upgrade soon. Don't worry. I'm going to start doing some shit in the house on the computer. You know, having some graphics and whatnot, showing some evidence of things I'm talking about, because we need to wake people up. Okay? Maybe even get some people on the phone. I don't know. I'm going to start doing some shit. I'm going to start being on my journalist shit. So, look out for that. All right? Anyway, stay up, people. Folkers. Peace out.